Welcome back. In this section, we're going to be looking at cloning out her blink because she's supposed to be dead and she's just not. She's just not dead. We're going to be working on a project called 4G VFX Dust and Gun Done. If you want to open that and follow along, right click anywhere here in your project manager, import project, and select 4G VFX Dust and Gun Done.drp and hit open. That should open up. And if your media isn't connected, select all your folders here in your media pool, right click and say relink clips for selected bins. Go to your work files, select media and hit select folder. Then everything should connect real good. We're at the very last shot of this sequence at 5 minutes and 14 seconds-ish, somewhere in there. And we have a couple jobs to do here on this shot. One is cloning out her blink and the other one is her disappearing. We'll deal with her disappearing here in a minute, but we're going to start by cloning out her blink. Now, because this is a shot where we're cutting to later, I think what we'll do is select this, right click and remove attributes to get rid of our color correction. Select color correction, hit apply. And then we're going to take all of this and right click and say new compound clip. And we'll call this end shot. And now we can bring this entire shot into Fusion as if it were just one continuous shot. Just going to make things a little bit easier. With our playhead over this end shot, click on Fusion, and that will bring this into Fusion World. Let's find the point where she blinks. That's right there. What we're going to do is the easiest way, which is just to patch a section of the video where she's not blinking over the one where she is blinking. So let's grab our media in. We'll rename this original footage. And first thing I want to do is make a still frame of our original footage. Again, lots of ways to do that, but let's hit Shift Spacebar and type time. And here we have a couple different options. We can actually use time stretcher or time speed. I like to use time speed. It's just a little bit easier, I think. I'll hit add. And by default, it's not doing anything. It's just playing everything back the same speed as it would be. But what we're going to do is find a frame that we like where she has her eyes open. Let's say frame 180, just anyone where her eyes are open. And now we're going to go over to the inspector here. And where it says delay, we're going to say 180. And where it says speed, we'll say 0. What that's going to do is only show frame 180. So now if we scroll back and forth, we have nothing going on. It's just a still frame. But we obviously don't want this the whole time because there's a reason why we shot this as a video. If we open up our original footage in our left viewer, we have our guy walking around, we have gunshots and all of that stuff. So what we really want is just to patch this still frame over the part where she blinks right here. So how do we do such things? Well, down in our nodes, what we're going to do is hold down Shift and grab time speed out of this. And then we can take our original footage and pipe it into time speed. So now we're just splitting this off and we're keeping one of these just regular. And then we're going to take an offshoot of this and do a freeze frame. And we're going to put that freeze frame over our original footage. So let's take the output here and put it over our output there. And that's doing what we're supposed to do. Again, if we were to look at this, what we're doing is putting our still frame over everything. And so it's not really doing what we want. We want it to just happen in this section in between where she blinks. And we also want this to only happen right here with her head because we want anything else that's in motion to still be in motion. So what we'll do is make a mask for our merge. So we'll have our merge selected and click on polygon mask. That's going to make a polygon mask. I'll put this down below our merge. And we're just going to draw a little shape around her face, just like this. Bloop. We'll soften this edge a little bit. A really easy way to figure out how soft your edge is if you select your mask and hit 1 on the keyboard to bring it up, you can just see the alpha channel here of the mask. So you make sure that you don't have it too soft. It's just soft enough to make sure that edge isn't too harsh. And now we have this little patch over our whole video. In our media out, if we were to move this back and forth, we can see our motion is still happening. Everything's still working, but she doesn't blink. It just stays the same the whole time. In fact, it stays even after she's disappeared. So we're gonna need to work on that. So let's step through our frames until the frame she's gone. So this is the last frame we want this to exist, is frame 340. And so we'll just go down to our merge, select our merge, and we're going to animate the blend just like we've done a few times. And this blend here at 340, we want that to be full. The next frame, just hit right bracket, we'll take blend all the way down to 0. So that just disappears at the same time. The rest of the shot should be fine, I think. Oh, this fades in. Ooh, look at this interesting problem. Looks like we didn't take the fade off of our compound clip. So let's go ahead and fix that. Let's go over to the edit page. And here where it says end shot, we can right click and go up to the top of our menu here where it says open in timeline. And it opens up in the timeline. We can zoom in here a little bit and you see we have this fade handle going on. Let's just bring that back. So it starts with a cut. Now in the lower left, we'll just click back to our timeline. Now everything should work just fine. And go over this, go back into Fusion, and we don't have that problem anymore. Yay, let's go. All right. So we fixed one of our big problems here for our shot. We don't have her blinking. She's crazy still. Let's look at this under our LUT, make sure everything's gonna work still. Yep, even with the light turning on and off, should work fine. We actually have her breathing a little bit too, which we might want to take out. We can just expand our mask here and that might work just fine. Now we have her really, really still. And look at this. I accidentally added a keyframe to this mask. So what we can do is just go to like our spline panel, select our polyline, select our second keyframe here and just hit backspace on the keyboard. That'll make sure that it's just one thing here. And I think that'll work fine. Congratulations, we have a dead person. Let's go back to our edit page and we'll call this marker good. And we could add our color back in over this shot and even add our fade back in just so we keep things classy, San Diego. You know what I mean? Let's go back to our color page. Just middle click on any other shot and go back to our edit page. Now we have this whole thing working still. And she's crazy still. Silly still. It works. Boop. That's some basic cloning. That's nice.